Hello, I come to share a weekly word with you, and this week's word is whose hands. Y'all, back in the day, I used to watch this show called Flea Market Flip. I still catch it from time to time on YouTube. And in this show, they would go to the flea market and pick up 3 items, and they would kind of reshape and rechange those items by refurbishing them. And then they would go back to the flea market to sell them. Sometimes they were beautiful and sometimes they were not. And even the things I thought were like, I don't know. Sometimes they were beautiful to me in their real form, their original form. Somebody would eventually just fall in love with it and buy it and say, oh, how nice it was. So I think about that oftentimes with our life. We have to understand that beauty is in the eye of the beholder, basically. And it's whose hands you're in. And a lot of times, this is 2 of my favorite quotes about being in God's hands. When you put our problems in God's hands, He put His peace in our heart. Those who leave everything in God's hands eventually see God's hands in everything. And that's the sure enough truth, y'all. What I will tell you is that when you love God and you have a relationship with God, you had realized that God loves you. God loves you just like you are. You trust Him and put everything, every problem, every situation, yourself, your life from top to bottom in His hands. He'll make everything brand new. Y'all remember this song? I put it all. Yes, I put it all. I put it all in His hands. No matter how great or small, He's the master of them all. And put it all in His hands. And I tell you, when you anxiety, you put that in God's hand. When you stress, put that in God's hands. When you worried, put that in God's hands. When you're not at peace, put that in God's hands. When you're joyless, put it in God's hands. When you're happy, when you're glad, when you're sad, if you're motherless, if you're fatherless, God will give you peace. He will give you joy. He will be a father to the fatherless, the mother to the motherless, the friend to the friendless. When everybody is looking at you and say what you can't be, and they don't see the beauty in it, know in God's hands, He makes everything brand new. That piece of junk that was at the flea market, you may feel like you that. Put it in God's hands and watch Him turn it into something of beauty. Something that He loves. God loves you. If you feel unloved, know that God loves you. Put everything in God's hands. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to leave you with this verse in Isaiah. Behold, I have engraved you in the palms of my hand. Your walls are continually before me. You are already in God's hands. All you have to do is trust Him and know that He got you in everything. Through hills and valleys, highs and lows, God got you. Put it in God's hands. Put it all in His hands. I want you to know you're loved. I love you, but God truly loves you the most. Remember to always be kind to yourself and others. Be joyful and be blessed. And where other people can't see it, don't worry about it. Because remember, God, you're in God's hands. And He will make everything brand new. Where you are doubtful, He'll make everything brand new. Trust Him. Believe it. Put it all in His hands. Love you much. Have a great week. Bye.